Weather would be pretty good if you're camping anywhere around the Bay Area
Yes,
this
it would.
weekend.
Oh, right. And we got more sunshine today than we've had in like the last 5 days for parts of the bay, specifically that part, like the city where you finally cleared out. You really hadn't seen a whole lot of sun there. We went into June and then the marine layer went into overdrive like it can so often do this time of year. We're about to break that pattern for at least a couple of days. First off, that's the Golden Gate Bridge, always the front lines. That's like the poster child for what's the marine layer doing, and right now the marine layer is not doing. But if you look at the virtual set, it's out there. I mean, it's just out of frame of that view because there's a whole blanket of wet grayness sitting out here off the coast. So let's take that forward, and we're going to play that ahead just to kind of show you what the progression is going to be. First off, how far inland it'll get, or how far inland it'll get tonight, and it won't be as far. So a couple of things here. Interestingly, the North Bay, see that empty spot up there? You may not really get much of this at all. So it could be one of those mornings up here in Santa Rosa, Rohnert Park, Petaluma. You wake up and it's clear skies even in the morning. And the South Bay may also avoid some of this. So that's the morning. That gets us ahead. You see the time there. This is like 6, 7 in the morning. Let's take it forward from there because I think the real interesting part of this is how far back does it melt throughout the day? And here's where we're going to use the virtual map to get an up-close and personal look. We're going to stop it right there at 3 o'clock. Get a close-up look at that now. I'll get out of the way. You see the clouds there tomorrow? Your perspective is everything. Look at that. Off the coast, when you look at it the right way, we're going to melt back the marine layer just enough that you'll have sunshine in Golden Gate Park. And I don't think it'll necessarily clear a whole lot for Pacifica or Half Moon Bay, but it will clear at least a little more than what you've been seeing. How are we doing this? Very subtle little sleight of hand. If you look at the satellite in a slightly different way, this is the water vapor. Shows you where the water vapor concentration is. What this is a great tool for is you can see the motions in the atmosphere when you look at all the water vapor, not just the clouds. So here's this little dry spot right here, which is really showing you where there's an area of low pressure. Watch what happened over the last 24 hours or so. This has been deepening the marine layer, giving it a little bit of a boost. It left this morning. Look at the time frame there. Watch that little trough, which enables the marine layer to lift and get farther in. That's leaving. And as that goes away, there's not a whole lot out here to give it an added boost. So we're going to give it a little bit of a break, and we'll kind of see things return to a more sunny disposition. All right, let's say goodbye to the monitor, and I just want to show you what the impact on everything I just said is on daytime highs for tomorrow. So let's say goodbye to that monitor, and instead let's take a look at what the contours will show us. The temperature trend will be across the bay tomorrow, and let's get those numbers on there. It's not all that different. You might be a few degrees warmer inland. I don't think you'll change a whole lot near the bay or the water. So really what this is for tomorrow is it's just kind of a change in perspective and a little more sunshine. By Saturday, I think we've got to go back into the gray. You'll see that in the 7-day forecast. So let's say goodbye to our map. And when we bring in the 7-day forecast, what you're going to see on here is the 7-day trend not really wanting to budge a whole lot. So let's bring it in for the inland microclimate. All right, you take a look at the numbers on there, you'll be in the low 80s. But even for inland microclimates, maybe a few more clouds show up by Monday and Tuesday. That likely is the result of the marine layer getting lifted up again and getting thrown a little bit farther inland. Very subtle differences there. The temperatures are not going to budge. And when we look at the 7-day forecast for the bay, what you'll see on there is the same story where the temperatures don't budge much and the clouds will probably fill back in. Takeaway on that is for Saturday, it's going to be great, but it's probably going to be a little more marine layery gray anywhere near the water, much like the last few days have been. So enjoy these next few days where you'll get some more sun. All right, Juliet, over to you.